Yo, 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 you tuned into the Notion Podcast. I'm your host, Dizzy D.Spill, and I got another Boss Talk episode for you guys, man. Before I get started, before I jump into it, I just want to cover these couple topics real quick. Something light, a little light work for y'all, man. I don't want to talk your ear off. How are y'all feeling out there as far as the economy? That's the first question I want to ask you. Let me know in the comments right now, before you forget and we get into the episode. How do you feel in this economy right now? Do you feel financially secure? I know that could be an invasive question, but is it how's it going for you? Or you can say it in your own way where you ain't putting your business out there. You can say, yo, these prices are crazy. This economy is crazy. For us millennials, I know we feel like it never ends because look, I say since 9/11, it has been rough. It has been a rough roller coaster. And it has not been smooth. We've had some smooth days, and it feels like we're right back to square one, or we took 10 steps back. But I asked that question because I came across an article where it was talking about the current state of affairs as far as groceries. Now, if you remember, the leader of this current administration said, he was going to get egg prices down. I don't know why just eggs specifically, but, I'll take it as groceries. We're going to get all these prices down and stuff like that. And with it being so many different moves being made, so many jobs being cut, so many different fundings being cut, I know a lot of Americans are feeling it. But, people get online and they don't give context. So let's jump into the context, right? So, grocery prices have obviously skyrocketed since Trump and his administration have now been voted back into office. But let's break down what the data shows. So skyrocketing somewhat is subjective, right? And while food and grocery prices have certainly increased, well, claims must be nuanced. All right. So let's bust down this article real quick. According to the Economic Research Service of the United States Department of Agriculture, the Consumer Price Index, CPI, for food at home, groceries increased 0.4% from July 2025 to August 2025 and was 2.7% higher in August 2025 to August, more than August 2024. So the analytical prices note that tariffs under the Trump administration are contributing to the cost pressures. For example, some food price inflation attributed to tariffs and imported costs. For example, analysis by Yale Budget Lab estimated that tariffs could increase food prices about 2.6% in the short term and up to 3% in the long term, with some categories like fresh produce seeing higher jumps. So that's a lot. If you already don't make a lot, that's a whole lot, right? And, going through this article, let's break down why context matters, right? Because, people get in arguments on YouTube. Context, what's the context? I want to hear the context. Grocery inflation is influenced by manufacturers, supply chain issues, weather/climate disruption, labor shortages, fuel, feed costs, tariffs, of course, import dependence, and global markets. Example, beef, dairy, produce all have specific issues. Tariffs add cost by increasing import duties, which businesses may pass on to consumers, we can feel that right now, right? Don't you agree? We already feel it has been passed down to us. The pass-through isn't instant or uniform, but data show upward pressure. So, yeah, we already feel that pressure. Now, a lot of times what we do is we blame a current administration and we say, the Biden administration, we say the Trump administration and all of this other drama, right? And we do that because we look at how we felt at that time when they're in charge. Now, is that fair? No, that's not always fair because there's obviously context to it. I just gave you an example of what I was explaining to you that, yeah, like in agriculture, if they have a bad, grow season, it will affect the quality and it will affect how much they can produce and things are limited. And me, from somebody that's been in the agriculture business for over a decade, that is very true. Your crops and things like that, it definitely does affect you in a real way. And so we can blame the current administration all we want, but at the same time, there are other moving parts. Now, however, the reason why you might want to shine the light on this current administration is because the promises and guarantees about cheaper prices, which you should never do in any economy because you do not know the future, right? Because of that, now people feel like they can, say, "Oh, nah, well, what's up? You said you didn't say maybe, you didn't say just in case, or it might be or subject to change. What happened?" Right? And so it's not really looking good. Now, of course, the people that ride with this administration, they can do no wrong. The administration is doing everything they need to do. But hey, whatever. You like it, I love it. But with that being the conversation on hand, right? It also brought me to something else that I thought was very interesting because in the black community, we always talk about 50-50 and relationships and blah, 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 blah. You need to make 6 figures and I need to be a housewife with help and all this other stuff, right? I read an article, right? And the article talked about how married couples are choosing separate financial arrangements, mainly bank accounts. Now, that is interesting. Now, let me read this to you. Traditional norm. Many married couples pulled finances in joint bank accounts, but surveys indicate changing patterns. According to SoFi's 2024 Love and Money Survey, 82% of newlyweds maintain separate bank accounts either exclusively or alongside a joint account. According to Bankrate/YouGov, and other studies, 52 to 65% of couples used only joint bank accounts. About 10 to 15% maintained completely separate accounts. Other survey data, 23% of couples have completely separate accounts cited by Bankrate in one study. General differences. U.S. Bank data shows 31% of millennials and 43% of Gen Z said they are likely to keep finances completely separate, whereas for Gen Xers, it was 19% and baby boomers is 18%. We is not trusting each other's. Unfortunately, we just live in a time where it's hard to find work for some people. And it's hard to keep money in your pocket after taking care of the bare necessities. As far as in couples not sharing accounts, I don't think it's a big deal. I never thought it was a big deal. Yeah, I practice it. Me and my wife have separate accounts, and we also have a joint account. But right now, the way the economy is looking, we should just count our money ourselves because it's crazy out there, man. Everything is just expensive, and the sad thing about it, in this country is it's all the necessities that are most expensive, and it's all the things that will basically hurt you and keep you down that are cheap. There's scenarios where water is more expensive than soda. But I think that what happens, or I believe what happens now is that you have all these different conversations that's happened in the past before a lot of us were even born, as far as in liberation for women and equal rights for every group, no matter your race and sex and all of this stuff. And then some person would come along, or some group of people come along and say, this is how your marriage should be, this is how your relationship should be. And realistically, I think whatever works for you is good. And a lot of times people do this comparison and saying, you shouldn't allow this, you shouldn't allow that, or you should have your relationship like this. Man, whatever you do, if it's working, it's working. I don't see this as a big deal. What I do see is maybe some of the generations now that are operating like this probably looked at how their parents separated. I mean, last time I checked the stats, 50% of marriages that end in divorce is mainly over finances. Infidelity is high, but I don't know if it's higher than finances. So if you know that truth or that percentage, drop that in the comments. I will stand corrected, and I would love to talk about that as well. But to keep it real, I think that people should just do what works for them. And I think it's a lot of financial pressure for everyone. I mean, even people that are affluent, I think is very stressful for them as well. I don't see this as a big deal. I do think it's good to have a joint account. I don't have anything against it. It's just something that you can put, you can put in the pot. You know, if you guys are the type of couple where you guys like to be the left and the right hand and you guys work in uniform like that, hey, I'm going to throw this amount in the joint account. You throw this amount in the joint account every month, and we're going to go get a car, or we're going to go on a vacation, or we're going to do something special for the kids, or, you know, we're going to save up to buy a house. If anything, joint accounts just help you be a better team player in your relationship or your marriage. Having a separate account, I don't think that's hiding anything, because you guys had separate accounts most likely before you met each other, got in a relationship. It's just some people get online and they say things that are divisive to cause a divisive argument. But at the same time, there are pros and cons to doing it where you guys have joint accounts and not having joint accounts. So it's just what works for you. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section, though. Do you think it's worth it having joint accounts in a relationship? I got a good question for you. Is it even worth it having a joint account if you want to be a stay-at-home wife and he makes all the money? What do you need joint accounts for? You know what I'm saying? Is it necessary? Do you even need an account because he's taking care of everything financially? But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section about that. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but maybe you can change my mind, or maybe you can give me a different perspective. You've been tuning into the Notion Podcast, Boss Talk, with yours truly, DizzyDSpill. Tap in. If this is your first time showing up to the platform, please subscribe so you can catch up with all of our content and turn the notifications on at the bell. Until next time, y'all, peace.